Hello, welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Ryan Selvy, and we are here today for a weekly challenge for some After Effects. I'm very, very excited. I get the opportunity to come on here and we get to do some spooky animations for the next month. Very happy that it's October finally, and we're going to make it worth your while. You can get your starter files from the link, and it is a fun little jack-o'-lantern. So let's go ahead and let's check it out. I made this for you guys. It is an Illustrator file that has been placed into the After Effects. By the way, hello to Arif over in YouTube chat, as well as Adara. And then in Behance chat, welcome to Robert, Umacorn, Keys, Clever, Izzy, the usuals. Good to see you guys. If you guys have questions as we are doing this spooky animation, please let me know. And in the coming weeks, also let me know what you would like to see as far as spooky. Now, what kind of spooky, Ryan? 7 days kind? I would say, month-long spooky. But I also am a big fan of cute spooky. So it's probably a little bit of the two connected. Hello to Ray from London. Greetings from London, he says. Greetings from Brooklyn. Hey to Leah. Good to have you here. Hello to Maria. It's really a pleasure to have everyone here. I just want to show you guys how this is kind of built out. In Illustrator, you already have all this stuff. If you're here for the video, I promise I won't take very long going through all this, but I just want to show you a few different tips and tricks that I did to create this pumpkin. First things first, what I did is I just took a circle and I made it, around this size. I then went and I held Alt and I made it tinier. And then I held Alt again and then just kind of brought these together. If you press Control Y, you can see the exact lines of everything. And then with that, I can see there is a singular point, center point here that aligns with the circle's side point here. So I hold Alt and I put that on the same spot on the other side. So it's nice and symmetrical. There's a multiple different ways you can then take this and combine them. One of them is pressing Shift M, which will bring the shape building tool, which is over here. If you don't see it, it might be under something else. If you don't see it still, then it might be under this edit toolbar where you have to then go and activate it. But Shift M will get you there. You just take a line and you draw it through. I'm going to press Control Z so I can show you the other way to do this, and that is with the Pathfinder tool. Pathfinder tool, if it's not already up, is under Window. Pathfinder gives you a bunch of different options on how to combine shapes. This is the one we're looking for, which is called Unite, and this is going to take all of our shapes and make them into one singular layer. We also have these cute little eyes, but as you can see when I hover over the cute little eyes, that there is a circle within here, and that is how we are getting this nice yellow. What I want to do is I can set this to whatever color I'd like. Just for easeability's sake, let's change it to black. And I'm going to just create an oval. I'm then going to press R and turn it on its side, because you can see here they're kind of like brought in, makes them look a little bit friendlier. And then the next thing we're going to do is underneath your color selection, fill and stroke, you can see that there is solid, gradient, and none. And then below that, we have draw normal, draw behind, and draw inside. We want this yellow area to be inside. So we're going to click on the draw inside section. We can then make sure that it is selected. We'll select a new color just so it's easier to see. And if we have our circle tool, as we draw, you will see it will only pop up in there. This way, we can have a nice representation of the inside of the eye, and we don't have to do things like shape builder, or we don't have to do things like Pathfinder to get the same effect. It's also still editable if we double click into it, because now it is its own shape, which is nice. Of course, we can always go back and change that to this yellow. We can change the black area to maybe the orange that we had selected. And then with that in mind, it's going to make it disappear. So we need to kind of have some sort of lighter visibility here. If anyone has any questions while we're going through this, please, by all means, let me know, my friends. I'm going to just kind of play around with the color here to make sure that it gets a little bit more visible. We'll say that it's like really dark outside. What you can do here then is you can then select the area that we made. You can go to transform and reflect. You want to make sure it's vertical and you hit copy. And then we have this fun little eye moment. We can also go create our smile. And all I did was create a pen tool here. And you got to remember that you're using a knife to make it. So it's going to start with a pointed area. So I just click. You can add a small smile here, a big smile, however you want to carve yours. And then I'm just clicking and dragging to create these points. And we're going to use the same experience as before to create this area where we can go draw inside. We're going to maybe click and drag like so. Doesn't matter what it looks like outside of that because it's going to be this color, and then we'll change the color of the mouth to be yellow. Finally, if we want to create a vine hat of sorts, all I've done here is clicked and created a stem of sorts. In this case, we're still in the draw inside, which is why it's not popping up, because you can tell by these brackets that it's saying draw inside that. We want to make sure that we just switch back to draw normal, which you can switch around your modes with Shift D if you don't want to have to hop down into the sidebar. But here we go. Clever says, Ryan, how will you spookify this gorgeous gourd? It's too cute. You know, it can be spooky. We can make him spooky as well. I mean, it depends all on the laugh and the ambiance. We go in here, something as simple as creating a hat like this. You can always come back and round it out by highlighting the points that you want by just pressing A and going to this direct selection tool. It'll give you these options to curve the corners. And finally, we have this spiral, which is really easy to make if you just create a new pen tool, stroke. I'm going to go around in a circle. You'll see that it's on fill mode, but that's no issue for us. We just switch it to here. You then go to your properties panel and you can increase the stroke, but you say, Ryan, that's all the same size. Have no fear. That's where this shape width tool helps. You click and you will be able to resize accordingly. When you get it to a spot that you like by clicking around, you can readjust it so that it's more visible. And you can even still extend the stroke if need to be. And then, of course, you're going to go to either object path, outline stroke, or you want to keep it as its own stroke. And there you go. These two are just made either in two different ways. You can either make it like a circle of kinds and reuse that shape builder tool if you would like, where you could Shift M and press minus on these when you're holding down Alt. That can be a way that you can make these, stretch it out a little bit more, bring it in a little bit more. Alternatively, you can also just go and create them like this by clicking and creating a side area. So, like I said, that's our first 10 minutes. I know we're only here for like 25 minutes a day, but I just want to get you guys at least started in the way as to like how you're going to make it. I then went through and I actually for the file that's already included, if you go into your layers area here, you can see that I took the time to separate each layer. That's just because when we go to animate stuff, it's going to make things a lot easier. You want to a funky window is showing top left. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Let's see if I can get that fixed and out of the way. Give me one moment. We are going to, there we go. All right. That fixes it. Thanks for the heads up, guys. I just wanted you guys to really, really see that fun magnetic corner. Now, let's see. Is there anything that I focused on in the top left that needs clarification? Please let me know. If there's anything that I went over to and clicked and you weren't able to see it because we had a overlaid window, please let me know. We can hop right back in. More or less, though, even without any of that information, you can still keep up. You still have all the assets. You can see over on the side, we have vine, left eye, right eye, mouth, hat, left groove, right groove, pumpkin. And all I did was save that out as jackolantern.ai and then created a new composition in an After Effects, which I made vertical like a cell phone. The composition settings for that are 1080 by 1920. 1080 is the pixels that are wide, 1920 is pixels high. The frame rate is 29.97, which is close to 30 frames per second. You can always change this up and you can always switch this out, but you might want to work in 24 frames per second or even 12. It depends on your preference and how you want things to look. We can also continue to take that and put a time remap adjustment on it, or we can take a posterized time and then we can make it look like another one. But in my experience, it's really good to create in 30 frames per second or 24 frames per second, because Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, anywhere that you're going to be uploading to is going to be looking for frames per second that are regularly filmed in, because they have their content. So that might change with time, but in my experience as of now, it is kind of what is there. So I made one. I called it main composition. When I import the Illustrator file in, I just clicked and dragged. It's already in there for you guys, but just to show you the full process here, if I were to go and do it myself with adding it now, it would give me a few different options. And from the options, and this is just literally dragging. I'm going to show you guys from here. If I go into the Jack-o'-lantern week 1, it's under footage here, Jack-o'-lantern layers. We have jackolantern.ai. If I click and I drag this into here, it's going to give me these options, okay? These options are going to say import composition, footage dimensions. I like to make it layer size. The layer size just means that all of the layers that we have meticulously labeled are going to be confined to the size that they are when they're saved out. Document size means that they're going to be confined to the dimensions of the artboard that we had in Illustrator. That's not the ones that we're really going to be working on within After Effects, and I personally just like it when my layers are more similar to the layer functionality of Illustrator and Photoshop, so I always go with layer size. It will then create a new composition, in this case Jack-o'-lantern, and now we have everything. You can see that these are all Illustrator objects and they're not actual shapes. So one of the things that we might want to do if we want to edit some things is we're going to go and right click on Vine and we're going to say create shapes from vector layer. Now we can see here that we now have a little bit more flexibility on what we can do with this shape entirely. If you either spin down here under contents, group, path, and then there's a little stopwatch here, you can click that. Alternatively, if you have rearranged your workflow to have this properties panel on the side, you are going to be able to just click on the thing itself. It will update to show Vine outlines, and then you'll just click path. That'll automatically create a keyframe for you, and you'll be able to then edit accordingly. As we continue, I'm going to then highlight a few of these spots by clicking down and dragging. You can then select these accordingly. Once you have all the ones you selected that you want, I just double click and you should be able to slowly manipulate and move these objects. Now, since it is something that is circular, you're going to want to finagle it and you're going to want to make it something that, you know, feels a little bit natural even when it moves. And so for this mode, I'm going to move those up. I'm going to move these over. We want to make it feel a little bit like it's blowing in the wind, but we also want to make it feel like maybe there's something a little spookier here going on. And so now we have this interaction. I want to just have it loop for now. We might come back to it later, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to alt click onto this stopwatch. I'm going to say loop out, and then I'm going to say ping pong. And you'll see that it's actually not going to, because it is a shape shape function. So what I'm going to do instead is you can either have something like this saved one that I have, where I can also put this into the description for you guys. And what this will do is this will essentially do it. Normally you can just do the loop out, but in this case it has to be a key modifier, and you have to say key1 equals keyframe modifier equals 0, key1, and then number of keyframes, keyframe modifier. And this is just saying basically have this go back and forth. To which, like I said, I'll put this in the description for you folks. I'll normally then go to keyframe assistant and say easy ease. Alternatively, if you don't want to use expressions and you want to be a little bit sloppier, what you could do is you can get rid of that entirely, and you can pre-compose maybe this, and we'll say vine moving. Within vine moving, you're going to want to isolate the area where it's moving back and forth, bring it down to this area, press trim to composition, and then when you go back here, you'll see that it's a shortered area. You'll click, right click, go to time, enable time remapping. Then from there, we're able to all click that and say loop out ping pong. And from there, it will do this. If you notice some shuttering, what's going on here, there are a few different things. One will want to extend this beyond the end. And the other thing, if that still doesn't fix it, you might need to clear your cache. So I'm going to press Shift X because I have made this into a shortcut because I use it so frequently. But what you might have to do is you'll have to go up to Edit and then Purge and say All Memory and Disk Cache. And then once you do that, you'll see now it's completely fine, which is pretty neat. This might also come in handy because something that we might want to do as well is we might want to attach this vine moving to the hat that we have. So let's pre-compose these as well. And if we say this, we say vine moving and hat. We then have a little bit more flexibility of how we want to address this vine itself. Wine moving, get out of here. So now, no matter what we do, if we move this, it moves with the hat as well, which is nice. Now, what I want to do here is I want to press Y, and I want to move the anchor point over to where the stem meets the top of the pumpkin. And I kind of want to make it wiggle a little bit. So we're going to go into rotation. I'm going to click R and then say wiggle. And we'll say tutu. Tutu, like a ballerina. And this can become like a little bit, once again, is it rustling because it is in the wind, or is it rustling because there's something a little spooky going on? We can do 15 if we want it to be a little bit more, and that is the amount of rotation that it can have. It will happen twice per second, but if we want to be really fast, this is going to look bad, but if you want to do like 2015, it's going to be like totally insane. So to that point, you normally want to keep this maybe to like anywhere from like 1 to 5, and then this area can be a little bit smaller as well, but we'll kind of give that feeling of something scooping around. Finally, because we only have a few more minutes, and we will be returning to the jack-o'-lantern next week as well, so if you're watching this replay, and there should be another one coming through, we can also animate these eyes to kind of reveal themselves. And if you are a watcher of my streams, you'll know that I love me some alpha masks. So I'm going to create a new circle. It can be any color, does not matter. We're going to call this left eye reveal by going to real name. Hey, Pervo, what's going on? And all we're going to do here is we are going to take this area. It's the second one. It's called your track mats. And you can take this pick whip. And and you are able to grab and bring it over here. And what that's saying is that wherever this is where the eye is showing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a scale property, and we're just going to increase it to make sure our anchor point is someplace. I want to say the top left, so it kind of comes like this, you see? Can change that easing, make it a little bit faster. Would it come from the other direction because it's... No, I feel like maybe... You know what we should do? You know what we should do, folks? We're going to hit this button, which is the invert, because we want it to match this size, this angle of the circle. And so rather than it expanding to reveal, we're going to expand... Do you see what I'm doing now? Is I'm like bringing it down so it kind of feels like it's cutting into it more so than it is expanding to reveal. It's kind of going, it's shrinking to reveal. If we wanted to, we could actually make this the same circle for both eyes. If we want to like put it in the middle here, maybe bring down this size, make it go larger. And then you can see that with here, we can rename this just to eye reveal. And with eye reveal, we're going to go and slick over here, do the same thing where we switch it. And now it feels a little bit more like they're getting cut into and being revealed. Finally, let's reveal that mouth. And we can either kind of cut it out or just have it kind of open up. I think it might be easiest in this case to actually just make it open up. So I'm going to say create shapes from vector layer. You'll see it gives us 2 because we already had that drawing inside. I think our best course of action here, we're going to activate these paths. Pressing U to reveal only my keyframes. Press them again. So I'm saying I want to go from here to here. And then when we are creating this, we can actually just go ahead, drag them up and try to like make them match. Doesn't have to be perfect because by the time that we make it visible, it's going to by the time we make it visible, it's going to... Maybe we make him laugh a little bit. That'd be kind of cute, right? Bring this down. Bring it back up. We'll just do it like twice or so, I guess. I'll select all of them, hold down Alt, bring them in. Let's see. Maybe even more. Let's copy and paste that. You could also do this with an expression if you wanted to. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. You guys like that? Same sort of thing. We can just do keyframe easy ease. And also adjust kind of how they are spread out. And for this, we can also do like a linear reveal. So linear wipe. We're going to make sure that it is on 0 degrees. Bring that all the way up. Transition completion, in this case, is 55 because it's 55% across. It sounds like Popeye. And then I want to bring it to, we can just do 0, honestly. And then as we do that, we might want to speed this whole process up. And as with anything else, do some easy ease. And let's check it out. Now, this is appearing to happen too fast, so we'll slow down the eyes maybe a little bit. But look at that. We went from pumpkin to scary jack-o'-lantern very quickly. And that's what we have for the challenge for right now, guys. We'll be able to bring this animated pumpkin into some other spooky environments. Next week, I want to show you guys how to make a bat fly. And we'll continue to make things change the color of the mouth when he laughs. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll do that next week. But thank you guys for hanging out. My name is Ryan Selvy. Thank you for tuning on in. I'll see you at the same time, same place next week. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Have a good one.